She doesn't know if she can take care of the baby. She doesn't know, where she's going from here. So then we kind of panicked for a minute. I don't even know if we vlogged or talked about this.
Max, go like this for me.
Is this for the video for recreation?
Recreation.
Recreation.
Oh, it's one piece of... Oh, my...
That's so high up there.
Okay, so there's one piece of confetti.
No, hands up though. Okay?
Stuck in
You
this
see what I mean?
and in that light.
I got you, good guy. I got you. So close.
Did I get it?
Yeah, you got it.
The light over here.
Now the light.
Lift him.
Oh, there was a bunch in there. Oh, it keeps coming.
I'm gonna get my mouth.
That was impressive.
And that's all it takes.
All right, Maddie. Tell us all the secrets. Tell us.
If Maddie could speak, Max would be cooked.
Good morning, Keep It Crazy family. Okay, today's going to be a little bit different of a video. Sorry, we're still recovering from coughs. So we've had a lot of new viewers, and we've had a lot of viewers that have been here with us for a while. And we have had so many messages that are like, can you do a recap of all the different adoptions and like what was your favorite part and kind of put it all together in one video? And I'm like, that is such a great idea.
I love that idea.
So we are going to do a recap of all of it and kind of tell you our favorite part and kind of how it all got put together. So, okay, we're just going to dive right into this, and we're going to start with Ariana.
It all started back in 1981. It was a snow, cold-filled day in Colorado. This guy came. No, just joking.
Okay, we're not going back that far.
Okay.
We're just starting at the adoptions. So, starting our very first adoption, real quick, we're not getting into like biological. We have 3 biological kids, but this is just the adoption recaps. And so our very first adoption was Ariana. Aww. Our very first one.
Love you, Ari.
And it was so incredibly special. Not only because it was our first one, but I feel like it created our family in a whole new way. Like it feels like the very beginning. And it was such a special day because his dad was able to be here. His bio dad was able to be there. My mom was there, Shelly and Jared. Shelly and Jared have been a part of every adoption except for one, but I'll tell you why in a little bit. But anyway, so it was just special. And if you look back, we weren't vlogging or filming back then. And so we don't have any videos of that day. We just have a picture. But I feel like this picture says a million words because it truly was the beginning. And you look at the smiles and just everything that day. I remember it was a little bit rainy, but not like a lot. And walking in, it just was this special moment. And I remember hugging Ariana right after they said it was official. And I just wanted to like start crying. It was just such a special moment.
I remember it's interesting because we just recently adopted Adela and Saint from the same courthouse. And the courthouse, I remember, was like older and it was, small and
so different.
It was such a different feel than it is now. But yeah, no, I remember the day. And it was so awesome because it was our first. We didn't know what to expect. We hadn't been through this a bunch of times. And it was like, are we going to say things right? It was nerves, but we knew it was right. And yeah.
And I think it just opened up our family that adoption can work out. And adoption can be the most beautiful thing, just as beautiful as a brand new baby being born. Like it truly has that feeling. Okay, going on to our second adoption. So this one was a whole other thing because before it was like just Ariana, right? Like adoption wise. The next one, we lumped 3 adoptions together. And that was Hannah, Alex, and Brody. And real quick, Hannah and Alex had come into our house as a sibling set. But they're not technically biological siblings. They were adopted in a family prior to our house, got put back into foster care, as siblings, even though they weren't. But obviously it was treated as a sibling set. And then we had happened to have Brody in our house, and he was in our house a lot longer than Hannah and Alex. But both of their adoptions happened to fall into place, and they were able to do all three together. So it looked like we were adopting a sibling set of three, but it actually wasn't they weren't related at all, like biologically. But that was such a special day. And our family grew by 3 in one day, which is crazy. And I just remember waking up and helping them do their hair and just getting ready for that day. And the feeling was so strong. Yeah, like how do you even describe it? It's so hard to describe each one. But I will say, like, Brody, since day one, was just a special light. He just brings so much to our family. And
you guys have seen it. You guys have commented a bunch that early pictures of Brody looks like early versions of Saint. And I see it. I'm right there with you guys.
And he brought that same joy into our house. And him and Logan, and see how close they were. And they just loved hanging out. And they were, I don't know, they still do. They obviously share a room and everything now. But such a special day. Probably the cringiest thing. Sorry, I have to talk about, because we're talking about memories of that day. Okay, I thought in my mind that it was a cute idea because we were, I don't know, joining, and I can't even believe we're showing this clip, because when I look back at it, I absolutely cringe. But I thought wrap them up in a baby blanket and be like, okay, our family grew by 3. Had 3 babies today, and we had 2 boys and a girl. It was a little unexpected, and it happened in about 30 minutes. They came quickly, thank goodness. This one's name is Brody, Hannah, and this one's Alex. They're so sweet, and we're so happy they joined our family. We just love them so much. Do you have anything to say, Dad, of 3 today? Adding 3 to our family.
I'm just so happy.
Dada.
They're talking already.
I need a binky. This one's making noise. I need a binky.
Stop! Why did I think that was a good idea in my mind?
Alex was 12 or 13 at the time, and
He was 12.
it was just...
Okay. So I will say sometimes we have ideas in our mind, and when we do them, they don't look like that, you know? And so looking back, that was probably, yeah. But anyways, it was fun.
I will say, with our experience vlogging, if we were to redo that video, I think we could have made it a lot cuter, and it would have come off better, not been as cheesy.
It was so cheesy. But we had just started vlogging, but not just that. I will say, though, they all went along with it. Like, it was fun. It's such a fun memory. And to look back on those days and just kind of, I don't know, how it all played out, it was perfect for that day.
I think that was probably my favorite house. And it was my favorite because of all of the fun times we had with the kids. Just so many, like, core memories.
Happened in that house,
and just, yeah, the feeling of that house, I don't know, I miss that. I'm trying to recreate that.
Right? Okay, then our next adoption was Jake, and Jake's adoption was so unique. Well, okay, real quick, how we told them about his adoption day.
I love that part.
Star Wars was really big at this time, and I think they have a new movie come out probably that we were like, oh my gosh, this is a great idea. You dress up as Darth Vader. And have a lightsaber battle.
On January 27th, I will be your father.
Yay, we got your adoption date finally! Yay! You're gonna be adopted on January 27th. Oh my gosh! Looking back
really
on that,
cute.
I think it was so cute. I don't know.
He didn't see it coming at all.
No, he didn't, and so I think that's what made it unique. But Jake's adoption, we fostered him for 3 years. So by the time his adoption and everything came into place, he was almost in our house for 4 years. He actually came into our house prior to Brody, Hannah, Alex, and that uncertainty in foster care. I will say that's one thing that I wish they would do differently, is they do give biological parents a lot of time for reunification, and that usually is the goal, which is really good. And I don't mind them giving them time to figure things out and those kind of things. But over 3 years is crazy. Like, it's a long time for a kid to not have permanence. And so for it to switch and be a permanent situation was such an incredible feeling, not only for us, but also for Jake. And I remember the day that we found out that we were going to be able to adopt him. And we went into his room, and I was actually in that house that has those great core memories. And we sat down with him and we said, do you want to be adopted? Because we would love to adopt you. And he got the biggest smile. I've always talked about his smile can light up a room. He doesn't even have to say words, but he smiled. He jumped up off of his bed and ran over and hugged us so tight and was like, yes, yes. And just, oh my gosh, like I'm going to cry even thinking about that moment. It was probably like such a core memory for me of a special moment, because we had waited for so long for that day. And I would wait a lifetime for Jake. Like, he truly is such a special person in our house, such a special person to us. The day of the adoption.
Sorry.
You're fine.
I held it as long as I could.
Everything went perfect. Like, and then Alex ran up and just picked him up, and you could tell he's like, we're forever brothers. Like, it was just, oh my gosh. And then we get out and Jake decides he wants to jump this curb thing and falls and gets hurt. And in that moment, he was crying and upset, and we're holding him like, you okay? You know, but it was the first moment that I felt like no matter what happens, no matter how you get hurt, choices you make, whatever, we will be here forever for you. And it was just kind of a reminder of that.
And family can help you get back up.
So to be honest, after Jake's adoption, we were done adopting. Like, we both were like, hey, we're done. We actually closed our license.
When we got into adoption or into foster care, we got into foster care with the idea of adopting. And what was our number? We were
just like one or two.
And then suddenly we were 5, and it was like, wow.
Right.
So we were like, yeah, well, I think we've got enough.
So that was 8 kids at that point, and we were like, wait, was that 3, 4, 5?
Yeah, 8.
Yeah, so we had 8 kids, and we were like, oh, we're done. Like, 8 kids is way more than we like imagined ourselves having. And so we did. We closed our license and we were done. Aaron also got a vasectomy. Can I say that?
Yeah, okay.
It's fine. So it's not like we could even have any of our, any biological kids. And so we were just done in a happy family. And God had other plans. And I had woke up one morning and I just had this feeling. And I was like, we're going to have a baby girl. And I had told Aaron, I was like, listen, we're going to have a baby girl. And he was like, Crystal, we're not fostering anymore. We've closed our license.
I can't have kids.
Can't have kids biologically. He's like, how do you think this little baby girl is going to come to us? And I was like, I don't know, but she's coming. I'm letting you know. And at that point, like, I don't know. It was just truly, I like knew it in my heart, at my core. And I happened to be pregnant with a surrogacy baby at the time. And he's like, oh, your hormones. Like, I feel so bad for you. Like, and my whole family treated me like that. Shelly, my mom, anyone that I told, like, we're going to have this baby girl, they were all like, oh, when she has this surrogacy baby, she's going to be too attached. She's going to struggle. She's going to probably go through depression. Like, they were having really, like, they were worried about me. And I was like, guys, it's not like that. Like, it's not the surrogacy baby why I'm feeling this way. I just know it in my heart. And everyone thought I was crazy until I got that phone call. And real quick, we had fostered Melinda at this point. We'll get to when Melinda's adoption happens, but Melinda was over the age of 18, an adult. And anyways, her and I were still close, but I remember the exact day. It was actually on Destiny. For those of you who don't know who Destiny is my niece and one of the crazy middles, one of their daughters. And we were actually walking to her graduation. And we're walking down the street, walking to her graduation, and Melinda gets a phone call. And Melinda, I hear her talking, and she's like, what? You're pregnant? Oh my gosh, what are you going to do? Like, having this conversation, right? And she hangs up the phone, and I was like, what was that about? And she said, my older sister, who also had gone through foster care, but we never personally fostered, she aged out of the system, ended up moving to Michigan. And she was like, it was my sister from Michigan, and she's pregnant. And she doesn't know what she's going to do. She doesn't know if she can take care of the baby. She doesn't know, where she's going from here. And I was like, call her back. I'm curious. And it wasn't like I cared if it was a boy or a girl. I was like, is it a girl? And she calls her back and she says, is it a girl? And she says, yes, it is. And the overwhelming emotions of, I just knew. And I was like, there she is. There she is. Anyways, long story short, I'm not going to get into all the details, but we went to Michigan, and that's how Jamie came into our family. But real quick, that experience is by far one of the best experience when I knew God was there. And he had spoken to me. He had put something into my heart that was real, like it came true. And every time I worried about it, or every time I would is this going to fall into place? Is this why I'm having this feeling? Am I feeling too attached to my surrogacy baby? You know what I mean? I'm having all of these thoughts. I would have this overwhelming spirit, calm me down and just be like, I've got this. You don't have to worry about this. It truly was, that's probably the most I've ever felt God. It did. I just let things happen and play out. And it ended up, the baby, or Aurora, ended up being born right around the surrogacy baby. We had the same due date, all these different things I could go on and on about. But Aurora's adoption was truly from God. And her adoption day was the most special. And it took 18 months to go through the process. And, there's a whole process with it. But with that, I just can't say enough that she truly was sent to us for a reason. And Aurora brings such a light into our home, and she is the glue. When I say she checks on every single one of her siblings, there's 20 of them. There's a lot to keep up on. She will call everyone. She knows what everybody is doing. She's 9 at this point, and I swear she knows more of the tea than I'll ever know. But
it's the cutest thing. I got it real quick. So I've created a group chat with all the kids, because we're trying to plan Mother's Day is coming up here pretty soon. And in the group chat, Aurora keeps, so she doesn't text. She doesn't do that. What she does is voice memos. And so she keeps sending voice memos to the whole group. I'll see if I can put one in the video, but she basically says a prayer, and it is the cutest thing ever.
She'll send little prayers even to me the other night. She was supposed to be in bed, and I get a little voice memo of I'm going to say my prayer with you, Mom, through this memo. And she's says her little prayer, and then she's like, love you, good night. Truly, but she calls each sibling, and she cares about everybody so much. And so she truly is sent from God and just a glue to our family. So after we got our little princess, our little baby girl that I knew was coming, we were okay, we're a family of 9. We're done. This is happy family. We're all set, and God again had other plans. So we closed our license again. We moved up to a small town, And we were like, okay, like, we're living our life and enjoying everything. And then this is right when COVID hit. And that was a really hard time in the entire world. And in our family, just, everywhere. And there was a lot of uncertainty. There was a lot of, even at one point, I don't know if I ever even talked about this, but Aurora got really sick during COVID. And it wasn't COVID, but real quick, just a complete side story. She got where she couldn't walk and she would just fall. And it was a really scary time. And we ended up having to call an ambulance, and they rushed us to the hospital. And they in the hospital did all the tests, all the everything, and they were like, we don't know what she has. We don't know why she's sick. And they just said, at this point, we're going to consider it COVID. And they made us sign a paper in the hospital that says we would not leave our property for over 10 days. I think it was for 10 days was on the paper. And if we left our property, we could be arrested. And we had prepared because COVID was obviously hitting and everything. But I also think we were really naive to what the world looked like because we were in a little small town, and I don't watch the news. We don't watch the news really, and we didn't understand. We just knew that we couldn't leave our property. So we didn't have enough milk. I think we had eggs because we had chickens at the time.
It was so sweet because the Crazy Middles would deliver groceries to our front door, and then they would leave, and then we would go out and pick them up.
Yeah, because we could have. That's what I was going to say is like, yeah, the Crazy Middles really stepped up and brought us food, and it was really sweet to see just like the community around everything. But with that being a scary time and everything, Aaron came to me and was like, I just have a feeling that there's more kids that are ours, that are meant to be a part of our family. And I was like, right now with so much uncertainty in the world, yes. Like, I don't know. And I just had that feeling too. And so anyways, we reopened our license during this time. And that is when Lucas and Savannah walked into the door. And it was an instant we knew. And they, even to this day, bring such a light during dark times. Like, they have such an amazing personality and just truly are comforting people with amazing hearts.
They're both so caring. Lucas is such a guardian, and Savannah I would call an empath. She just, they just want to help everybody around them, and it's so sweet to be around. It
is so amazing to be around. And so their adoption happened still in the middle of COVID, and the courts were still open because it was a little small town. In the bigger towns, they weren't. They were doing a lot of things virtually. But with that, we all had to wear masks at the adoption. They did the adoption pretty quick and sent us along our way, but we did have to wear masks during the entire thing. But it didn't matter. Like, it still felt so special. And there was this moment where we were sitting up at the, what are those called? I don't even know what those are called. Whatever
it's not coming to me right now.
In front of the judge.
Like defendant booth? I don't know.
And they were sitting in the middle of us, and Aaron and I reached over and held hands. And then once they said that it was final, the hugs and the warmth, and everyone celebrated in the hallways afterwards, it truly was so special.
The thing I remember most about it is, so our house was like kitty corner to the courthouse because it was such a small town. And just walking from our house as a whole group over to the courthouse, there was so much fun and play going on, and just, it was such a good spirit. Yeah, it was amazing. Okay, so then we were like, we're done. I swear we kept saying, we're done, you know. So after Lucas and Savannah's adoption, again, our license was open because we had to open it, an adoption license in order to adopt them. But it opened a doorway that we didn't even know existed. So real quick. It was actually at Lucas and Savannah's adoption, we were talking to our lawyer, and our lawyer explained the loophole. Yes. So in the state of Arizona, once a kid is above the age of 21,
you can adopt. You cannot adopt an adult above the age of 21. So Melinda was above the age of 21 at this point. She was still a part of our family. She was still a part of things. She just never was officially adopted. And yeah, at Lucas and Savannah's adoption, our lawyer said, well, you can adopt above the age of 21 if they were placed with you as a foster child at some point. We didn't even know there was a loophole. Didn't even know. So had we not adopted Lucas and Savannah, we would have never been able to adopt Melinda. Melinda's adoption actually was so sweet because it is right in between when we were moving, which I'll get to moving in a minute. But we were able to surprise her that there was a loophole and that there was this time when we could adopt her. And it was such an incredible moment. We actually kind of like proposed to her, and instant tears, instant joy on everyone's faces. And it was so special. Like in our house, from past foster kids we've had, we've always told them adoption's just a piece of paper. Like, you will be our forever child. You're adopted in our hearts. Like, we have all these different sayings, right? But to Melinda and to us, like it was such a special moment to have that permanency. And her adoption, we went back up to St. John's for it. So it was in the little small town. Such an incredible moment. She loves the color red, or picked out the color red for her adoption t-shirt. And truly is a feeling of love.
Speaking on when we asked her if she wanted to be adopted, that video in that moment, and that I remember that like it was yesterday. It was so amazing, and the air was just so full of love. It was awesome. And then her adoption was amazing. The reason we ended up going back to St. John's is because our license at that point was still registered in Apache County, which is where St. John's is. So we had to adopt her there. That's why we ended up moving or going back up there. But
also, Melinda's adoption reminds me a lot of, it's never too late to feel like you belong somewhere. And no matter your age, no matter where you are in life, you can belong to something. Because a lot of times, I don't know, at least I feel this way. I don't know about all of you, but I'm like, oh, I'm too old to make friends, or oh, I'm too past this to find a hobby, or whatever the case is. You're never too old to figure out where you belong. And age doesn't matter, and your place where you are currently in life, it can always change, and you do belong. Whether it's our community here online, I see and I read all of your comments, I see all of you, and I think of you guys every day. I really do. And you all belong a part of our community. And also, you can find where you belong, no matter your age or whatever. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people out there right now that are feeling lonely, that are feeling like they don't belong to something, and it's out there. Keep searching.
After that, we got the phone call of, hey, we have this sibling set of 3. And we had decided to move from the small town back to the valley where it's bigger, more resources. We had to take Aurora via AirVac and other things because she was having seizures. And so we wanted to be closer, amongst some other things, which I will do a story time maybe on the podcast of all the reasons why we actually left St. John's. Because there's a lot. Oh my gosh, there's the stories I can tell. But anyways, that's another video. With that, we're in the middle of moving. Like, we can't take 3 kids in right now. Like, we're moving. We're out of here. But those 3 kids, which I don't even know, because we were in a different county, and normally you get calls for kids in those counties. This was not even in the same county, which was interesting. I'm trying to think. I think it was Lucas and Savannah's caseworker knew Bella, Liam, and Ryland's caseworker, and it somehow got recommended. And I don't know how that fell into place. Again, sign from God, or God putting how he and what he knew was meant to be in our family. So anyways, we got moved, waited a few weeks, ended up calling the caseworker and being like, hey, like, we're willing, we'd love to meet them.
Let's meet them.
And once we met them, we just knew. It instantly fell into place. And within, 2 days, they were moving in from meeting them. And I will say, like, this was still, like, COVID was still going on. There was still a lot of uncertainty, but things were starting to calm down. But a lot of things, like, were virtual. So when it came to their adoption, it was done virtually, or they said it's going to be a virtual adoption. And at first we were a little disappointed because there is something about going to the courthouse and sitting in before a judge and hearing them say, like, these are your forever kids. This adoption is final. And I was like, is it going to have the same feeling if you're sitting in front of a TV or sitting in front of a screen? And we didn't know. And so we decided that we weren't just going to sit at home and do this adoption. We were going to go to Disney World. And so we surprised them all with Disney World. And we get to Florida.
Our biggest family trip today.
That was our biggest family trip.
I think we had 25 people on that trip.
And that is the only one that Shelly and Jared were able to go to. I don't remember what they had going on, but it's also a lot for that many people to travel. And so that is the only one that they've missed. But we get to Florida, and I can't believe we did this. Like, we didn't really plan it out. You have to have good Wi-Fi. You have to be in a place that's, like, quiet. And in my mind, I was like, we're going to be at Disney World during this adoption. Like, we're going to find a quiet spot in Disney World, and we're going to do this adoption. Not a great idea, and not probably the most, Anyways, didn't think that through. So we get there, and we're like, okay, that's not a good idea. Disney World is crazy. There's a lot of people. It's loud. The judge is not going to like that. Service isn't the best. Like, so then we kind of panicked for a minute. I don't even know if we vlogged or talked about this, but we panicked and we were like, what do we do? And we happened to be staying at this house. And I was like, there's a clubhouse down the street, and I think we can go to that clubhouse. So we did. We went to this clubhouse, and we went a couple hours before the adoption, and we're walking around this clubhouse, and I see this room, and I'm like, do you think we could just set up in this room? And we were like, do we need to book it ahead of time? Should we ask the front desk? Whatever the case is. And we ended up walking by staff, and I'm like, hey, like, we're doing an adoption. Can we just, like, do it in this room? And they were like, yeah, we don't care, kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness. And it ended up being the most memorable adoption to date. Like, all of them are memorable. All of them have special moments. Don't get me wrong. But this one being virtually, we didn't know how it would play out. And it was just as special as in person. And the feeling of when they said it, even though it was through a screen, this adoption is final, there was instant tears and instant relief.
The look on Bella's face.
And everybody, it was just, and then the hugs and just the feeling that overwhelmed the room. Like, I can only relate it to when you give birth, just that a miracle happened feeling. And that truly was a miracle. Whew.
I will also say I think that was one of my favorite family trips we've ever taken.
I agree. No one fought on the trip.
There was
no one.
So much to it, but it was just,
It was just a magical trip. Like, it truly was magical, and there were so many pieces to it, and it just all fit into place and all worked out the way it was meant to be. The next one that wasn't necessarily an adoption, but it was something that was so incredibly special, and that is Jamie. So real quick, we never officially fostered Jamie, so we couldn't use that loophole of adoption. But it was really, really important to Jamie for her to have our last name. So instead of doing a full adoption, we decided to do a full name change, which to all of us was so incredible, because to have that all have the same last name of Pettit was such a special meaning behind it. When Jamie came to us, like, I want to have the last name Pettit, it was almost like she had asked us about the adoption. Like, and again, she's adopted in our hearts, and having our last name, it felt like an adoption to us. And the day of her changing her name, when they said like, oh, it's official, you know, your last name's Pettit, it's just the tears started rolling. Again, it's just like every adoption has such these special moments, and all the way that our family has been put together through all of these pieces. And it's not your traditional family, not done in a traditional way, but it's just as special and just as, I don't know, incredible. And so that day was just, yeah.
I think for me, I adopted Jamie in my heart the first day I met her. She was just, you and Melinda drove to Michigan. I stayed back. We were in Chicago for a family reunion type thing. And when you guys brought her, she had a bunch of stuff. And so we were moving that stuff from one car to another, and just meeting her and just her sweet personality. I was just like, okay. Yeah. And then from that day, she was calling us mom and dad. So it was like, okay, yeah, we're doing this.
We always
felt like she was adopted. But I agree with you. It felt like she chose us.
So again, for the millionth time, we were done adopting. The story never ends, guys. It never ends, truly. But the next phone call that we got was for our daughter, Eevee. And Eevee, oh my gosh, from day one. So I actually had to drive over 2.5 hours to meet her. And we went out to, I think, a Peter Piper pizza. Like
I wasn't able to make the first meeting. I don't remember why, but
yeah, there was something going on that you
and Ariana went.
Yeah, me and Ariana. And even on the way in, like, she grabbed Ariana's hand, and it was just like the sweetest moment. And I told Aaron, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is our daughter. And so then the first time he got to meet her, we went back up to, she lived in Flagstaff, Arizona. And we flew kites together.
That was such a beautiful part.
And it was beautiful. And we were flying, like, we're running around with the kites.
She was so happy running with that kite.
She was so happy. And just her smile and the instant connection and just everything with it. Like, she truly brings a light into our home. And it has been so amazing because she has a different personality, and it brings out, like, how do you even describe it?
Eevee is very caring, and she's very observative. Like, if I'm having a rough day, she's one of the few that just immediately like, Dad, is everything okay? And she'll ask, and she genuinely, she's asking because if you need her to do something to, like, bring your spirits up, she is ready to do it.
Or she's the first one to, like, run and hug you on a bad day. Like, she will be like, you need a hug, and just gives the best hugs. And it's just like this sweet, sweet thing that she truly cares about everyone.
Crystal has told this story, how in our house, we always try to make it a very, a big thing when our kids come through the door. Like, run up, give them a hug, do this, do that. Eevee is continuing that on for us, because anybody that comes through the door, she's up, she's giving them a hug. Hey, how are you doing? How's your day going? And she's just a sweetheart.
I love it. So adoption day was so incredibly special, and almost everyone in the family got to be there. And it was at a really big courthouse. And as we're coming out the door, she went through and hugged every single person. And you can tell it just meant the world to her that everyone was there to support her. And so she just went through and hugged. And it was like, you would think, like, that's a lot of hugs. There was a lot of us there. A lot of the crazy middles were there. Almost our entire family was there. But to her, she looked at each individual person. And just, like, you could tell with that hug was like, thank you so much. And there was this cute hug, like, at the very end, like, when we were still in the courthouse, and everyone, like, kind of ran and, like, took pictures and just did a big group hug. And it was, like, bringing everyone together. It was, oh my gosh. Okay, then we were really done, and we closed our license. You know how many times we've closed our license
There's such a thing
and had
here.
to reopen it? Had to call. We're with Catholic Charities for most of our adoptions, and the amount of times I've had to call Catholic Charities and be like, "Hey, so," and they're like, "We know," and so reopening our license. But anyways, we were done, and we did close our license, and then we got the unexpected phone call. And it was DCS on the other end saying, "Hey, so Jake's biological sister is coming back into foster care. And would you be willing to take her in?" And of course, it was an instant yes. So we had met her when she was just 3 years old. And I had this guilt inside. So I hate when they split siblings in foster care. I hate it. I feel that siblings should be together, and I feel that they should be placed together if it is safe and healthy to do so. I will add that in because there are some cases, and in particular, some of the cases we've seen and fostered where siblings can't be placed together because of trauma and because of things. Yeah, that's a total side note. So as long as there's not that, they should be placed together. And I had begged the caseworker to place Jake and his sister together. And I had told her that that's what I wanted. I told her that that's what I, envisioned. That's what I wanted for them. And she repeatedly told me no. I had felt for a long time that I didn't fight hard enough. And I was like, is there something I could have said to the caseworker? Is there some way that I could have changed this outcome? Is there something I could have done? And I had to live with that because I felt like I did try, I did ask, and I was just like, it's okay. She's in a safe home. She's loved and happy, and they can see each other. And we had times when we kind of had felt distance. When we particularly moved up to a small town, it was hard to keep that going. But it kind of just was what it was. And so when I got that phone call, I instantly knew, and it took me back to those years when I had felt like maybe I should have fought harder. But this was kind of a second chance. And it reminded me a lot that if you're living with something that you're holding in that like, oh, could I have handled that differently? Or could I have said something different? Things will work out, even if it isn't in that moment. And there is always second chances. There's always, if you make a mistake or you do something wrong, there's always a time to work through that. And there's always a second chance. And looking back on it, I don't know if there's anything I could have said. I'm going to be real honest. Like, I actually don't think that there's any way I could have changed that outcome.
I think a huge part of it was because Jake and Adela's case took so long and for Jake to be adoptable. By the time we actually were able to adopt, she had been placed with the current family she was in for a couple of years.
No, almost 4 years.
And they were
or
like,
no, she's longer than that.
We don't want to
Almost
separate them. And so, I mean, I kind of understand, but yeah.
Yeah. But so for Adela to come that full circle and to come back around, it was like, yes. Like, we didn't even have to think about it for a second. Like, it was just an instant. And I had felt that she was mine since she was 3, and it just took her a little bit to come back into the family. And going on to her adoption and her adoption day, and how special, and to see her and Jake hug in the adoption room and finally be able to be together and be reunited and not have anyone take that away from them. It just, yeah. And we love Adela so much, and she brings so much into our household. And I always say this, like, you're always supposed to, you, as a parent, you teach your kids and you guide them and you support them and you have all this, but each one of our kids have really taught us something. And I have learned so much from Adela. And one thing that Adela is so good at is talking about things in the moment. It's no secret over the years I've had a hard time. I don't like confrontation. And sometimes when things go on, I'm like, I need a minute to process and, think about this or whatever. And Adela has really taught me the importance of talking about things in the moment. And if anything's bothering her or anything happens, she's instantly like, let's talk about this. And it has been such a growing experience for me. And I'm so incredibly thankful for what she brings to our family.
Adela, for me, is another one of those kids that is super in touch with everybody's feelings around them. And if she senses that you're having a rough day or you're not feeling well, she's like, hey, everything okay? What can I help with? So, yeah, I love that about her.
I do too. Going on to the surprise that we didn't know we needed. And that is Saint. Saint was truly a miracle. And I know a lot of people, and I've gotten this comment and people are like, how does this happen? Like, your guys' license, you're not fostering kids actively. And for those of you who know, like, even when fostering, it is really hard to get a baby because a lot of people want to adopt and foster babies. And it's much easier to take in teens. There's a lot of them. There's a lot more homes that need to take in teens. I truly, truly have such a passion for taking in teens because there's not enough homes, but they're incredible people. Anyways, that's a side note. So it is really hard to adopt a baby. Not really hard. But it just is a process and it takes a long time. Anyways, that being said, Saint is truly a miracle. And the moment that he came into our house, everyone fell in love. And he brings such a light and such a joy into our home that we didn't even know was missing. But it's an incredible thing. I will say every single person that walks in the door says hi to Saint before anybody else. Anyone's instantly like, hi, Saint. And he just started saying hi like a week ago. And anyone walks in, he goes, hi. And it's, oh my gosh, it just instantly melts your heart. And to see even our teen boys' hearts be melted by Saint and to see them sit and play and hang out and just, oh my gosh, I just can't say enough. For me, I didn't realize we had such a big part of us missing, and Saint filled that. And it was just, he's so cute in his little smile and just his personality. It just fills a room. I love him. It was interesting too because a lot of, minus Aurora coming to our family, most of our kids came in as teens or preteens, like in that age group. And so to have another baby in our home and to see them take their first steps, to hear them say their first words, and just, there is nothing better than those moments. And to experience that with Saint, it really reminds me to slow down and enjoy those moments. And it's interesting because I get really busy and I'm doing work and I'm doing all of these different things. And I'm like, no matter what I'm doing, when it is like Saint's time for his nap and to be rocked and fed a bottle, I don't care what I'm doing. I will drop it and enjoy those moments. And so I'm always like, hey, I'm a little working. I'm like, he's really tired. I'm going to go put him down for a nap. And just to have those few minutes of feeding him the bottle and rocking him to sleep and him falling asleep in your arms. I know that is such a short time frame to enjoy that moment. And I try to soak in every single day.
It's one of my favorite things about Crystal. And she doesn't know it. What I'm about to say. She's completely caught off guard. But one of the cutest, most attractive things for me with Crystal is just how she is with babies, like playing with them, interacting with them. It's the cutest thing ever. So
I love it. I love every moment. And his adoption day was so sweet. And everyone, so we did the theme of having everyone's numbers a jersey theme because he loves like throwing balls around, and he chose athlete for his first birthday thing. You'll have to go back to that video to kind of understand. But to see everyone's numbers and kind of lined up, and it was kind of a reality check that he was number 20. And in the courtroom, they had the little like fingers, and like it was just a sports theme, and it was just such an incredible thing. And the way our lawyer at this point, our adoption lawyer, has been through it so much with us, that she just joked around, and the judge was enjoying every moment. And usually the judges are a little more serious, but I have talked to, there's a lady in our neighborhood, and her husband is a judge, and she said those are his favorite days, are doing adoptions, because they do deal with a lot, you know, judges, and normally it's not a happy day in court, you know, most of them, and what they're doing. And so on adoption day, when it's those happy moments, they love that. And this judge, you could tell, just was so excited for us, and I loved that. Our final adoption will be Tristan. It will be. So we did get a notarized paper that we just got to sign and send in that will request all of Tristan's records. And from there, we can get the one number that we need to put onto that paperwork to be able to file it. And so we are doing that, and that will be our final adoption. And I swear at this point, we are closing our license. And we are not taking in any new kids, anything at this point. Like, and my mom always said, because I was like, how do you know when you're done having kids? And she was like, I don't know, but it's just a feeling that you know. And I truly have that feeling. Like, if someone were to hand me a baby tomorrow and say, oh my gosh, like, you can adopt this baby, I honestly would say I will find it the most amazing home. Just not us. Tristan's shaking his head behind camera, but that is not true.
It reminds
me
of the
I
Justin
really
Bieber
feel
song.
done.
Never say never.
No.
I think that's a Justin Bieber song. I don't know.
On that note, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you all next time.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Did you just quote JB?
I did.